Oh no, this is not what I wanted to hear. Niner Fan Man here, aka Ronbo. Yes, indeed. It's the bag of shame this week. I thought it was going to be another celebration. I really didn't think it was going to take longer for the Niners to lose than it has already. The Niners are supposed to be. I mean, they beat the Cowboys. That was expected, but I thought they beat the Bears too. These first two games are supposed to be nothing more than scrimmage games to get the Niners ready for the rest of the first half of the season until some of our horses get back, right? They got beat by the Bears. Are you kidding me? It continues to be a long and gloomy week for those of us who live and love being in Ninerville. You see, the reason why I thought this loss was so unsettling, so many reasons. For the one thing, Niner fans expect a certain display of character during the course of Niner games. I could be a little harsh on them. Maybe they got confident. Did they get confident or cocky? See, this is the thing I'm wondering about. The Niners played a team that was depleted coming into San Francisco. Wide receiver Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. These guys didn't even practice during the course of the week. They couldn't. They were injured. They were hurt. The Niners. That in itself is embarrassing. Okay, you know what? That's one thing. But these particular players, these are all pro receivers. And when you think about that, you've got to excuse them. But I'm talking about the exodus of other Bears. The Bears were getting knocked out, beat up during the course of that game. They were heading to the locker room. They weren't coming back out. And yet still, the Bears, they came in wrapped up, duct tape, hope, and faith, and they win. See, that's the kind of determination we're used to seeing from our guys. And we got to put on us in Levi Stadium, of all places. That was where I felt the pain. They came from behind in that condition and won the game? Please. What? Niner pass rush again. MIA. MIA. You see, here's the thing. When you have a secondary like ours that is currently kind of weak, because some of the first stringers are out, they're good. They're good ball players, and they'd be all right. And over the course of the season, I suspect that they'll get even better. But here's the thing. If there's no pass rush, which there wasn't, Cutler had all day to throw, even your first stringers are going to struggle. Because let's face it, the Bears wide receivers are no joke. Those guys can play. Let me get away from the defense for just a moment, though. Well, does Cappy have timing issues even at this point? Remember the first quarter when Bolton was wide open? 6 points. Sailed right over his head. I said, okay, that's fine. Maybe a little tight. He's in Levi Stadium for the first time. He'll be okay. Let's see what happens next. And here's another thing. I'm going to complain about this, and I'm hoping this is going to be the last time I complain about this. Cappy's running with the ball a lot. He's not going into slides. No, there's nothing wrong. I said it 3 times. I'm going to say he's not going into slides. Do you know, had Cappy slid on that play where he fumbled the ball, chances are the defender doesn't wrap him up, drive the helmet, or be able to knock the ball from. He fumbled that ball, right? Here's what everybody knows. Football games can be determined. You add that up with the miscues, the interceptions. Games can be determined by momentum swings. There you go. Momentum swing. 3 interceptions and fumbles. With every one of those miscues, you had a swing. Here's the thing about Kaepernick, though, I want to ask you about. I just want to run you by this, and don't hold me responsible for this in a couple of weeks when Kaepernick starts to look like the king of football once again. This is his 4th season. Am I right? This is number 4. Has Kaepernick reached the peak? Is this as good as it gets? I'm just saying. I'm just wondering at this point in the season, is there going to be another plateau reached, or has Cap seen it? All right? Oh, one more thing. 4th and inches, right? Niners got 4th and inches to go. I sat back. I said, oh, they'll go for this. They punted the ball away. Now, I know, it's good football sense. 4th and inches. I still think the Niners should have went for that play. I was a little disappointed. How about that beautiful Frank Gore run? Frank, zigs right, zigs left. Flag on the play. Antoine Bolden holding. And some of those, okay, you know what I said earlier? I was glad that the new penalties and new policies around the NFL are going to be used, especially when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks. But, I had nothing to do with this play. That play was called back. The flags is what I was crying about, one after another and every other play. And the Niners got called for enough flags. I haven't finished looking into this yet. Maybe, just maybe, did the Niners set a new record for penalties in one contest? I didn't hear anything about that, so I'm thinking maybe not. To everybody's surprise, of course. You can't give the Niners a break on this loss, though. That Jekyll and Hyde act, we've seen that a couple of times last year. I put that squarely on the shoulders of Coach Jim Harbaugh. He's the guy who's supposed to keep that team on its toes. You go into the locker room at the halftime, you make sure those guys still have got that edge on. Don't get cocky. Honestly. The Bears are weak and they've been stripped of some of their potential, but still. And during the press conference, don't you love when Harbaugh's is he starting to freak you out in some of those in the press conferences? He gives his typical response, "Well, the Bears, they made good plays." Coach, that's all you got to say? Let's look at the comparative stats coming up for the game on the now coming up this weekend. We've got the Cardinals, which is not a good thing. Kaepernick so far in the season. I just want to give you a quick rundown of the stats going into this game. Kaepernick has completed 64.9% of his passes. However, Cappy, as you know, is having some problem with making good judgment calls, and that's way too many interceptions. During the course of preseason, I excused it, but now I can't have it. The 49ers have 8 receiving plays of 20 or more yards, including 4 combined between Crabtree and Bolton. Frank Gore, of course, leading the way with 159 rushing yards already on the season. Defensively, the San Francisco 49ers are allowing 299 yards per game, and that said something good about them, especially given the situation right now with player personnel missing. They forced 4 turnovers and 4 sacks. Patrick Willis leads the 49ers with 14 tackles, which is nothing wrong. Justin Smith, minus his twin, Alden, doing a good job out there. 3 of the team's 4 sacks all belong to Justin. He's on his job. He's healthy, and that's very important because going down the line, if we can just keep Justin healthy, he's a menace. They can't stop him. He's a machine. Now, looking at the Cardinals coming into the week, Carson Palmer continues to be questionable for this matchup as he remains day-to-day with that shoulder injury. Whether it's Palmer or Drew Stanton, though, is going to be of little consequence. The Cardinals rely pretty much on that talented backfield, averaging 4.3 yards per game. Andre Ellington, Jonathan Dwyer, they've combined for the biggest percentage of the Cardinals' offense, 233 rushing yards, and they look like they're just getting started. These guys are tough, and that scares me too because the Niners are not all that right now against the run offense. It's kind of scary. Ooh, I want to say to the Cardinal fans, if you're checking this out, your boy Dwyer got put on the list with too many players in the league. Domestic violence. Dwyer will not be in the lineup this weekend versus the 49ers. No sympathy here. They ought to learn to behave. Michael Floyd, by the way, is making defenses pay for doubling Larry Fitzgerald. He's having a great season so far. He's got 138 receiving yards on 6 receptions. Defensively, the Cardinals are allowing 315.5 yards per game and forced 5 turnovers on 2 sacks. Tony Jefferson leads the Cardinals with 14 solo tackles, while Larry Foote has 16 tackles and 3 tackles, all those for losses. However, here's the thing, 49er fans. Yeah, give me that rock and roll. Give it to me, because here, 315 yards per game being allowed by the Cardinal defense. That's just a little less potent than the Niners, and as far as the math goes, the Cardinals are not a juggernaut class as of yet. and they don't deserve any huge accolades in this week 3. Oh, yeah. Just kind of gives me a pumped up feeling. Here's the thing. With that being said, Vegas line right now says the Niners are down by 2 as of 2-3 hours ago. That may change between now and kickoff time, but I'm saying the Niners win this one by 6. Let's face it, the Niners got to be they got to be hopping, man, after last week's loss. And they got to be looking for some redemption. Niners win this one by 6. And I'll bet oh, by the way, let me say this about the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos just to make me feel good. If they win, it's going to make my weekend so much better. I'll see you next week. We can talk about the good times as it will continue to roll, baby. Ronbo saying 49 fans, just have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you in a few days. Oh, yeah.